They say there is a reason. They say that time will heal, but neither time nor reason will change the way we feel. For no one knows the heartache that lies behind our smiles. No one knows how many times we have broke down and cried. We want to tell you something so there won't be any doubt. You're so wonderful to think of, but so hard to be without. We can't bring the old days back when we were all together. The family chain is broken now, but memories will live forever. There is a space between inhaling and exhaling where grieving mothers dwell. It's where their pain and numbness combines with their long blank stares as they sit in their empty thoughts, trying to stay right ahead of the tears that not knowing is what we all fear. Time stopped for Dawn Englebert and her family on July 6, 2019. There is no moving ahead because loving mothers can't move ahead and leave one of their children behind. The word memories does not come close to describing the bittersweet, nostalgic state Chance's family and friends have been living in. If we could turn back the hands of time to a previous moment in our children's lives, to freeze it and keep them there, if only for a few moments to revisit their laughter, their smile, and to look back into their sweet, innocent eyes, to hold them and protect them once again and never let them go. The sad thing when making memories is we don't know we are making them until that moment has passed and our children are grown. It's very painful to let go of a child's hand on that first day of school because you don't know what the future holds. It's just as hard on their graduation day because even though you know they have become the adult you are so proud of, you still want to protect your child. Come with us as we stroll through the passages of time through the eyes of Chance's family and friends. On the cold morning on December 2nd, 1993, Everett and Dawn Engelbert's firstborn graced the world with his presence. But how could they know he would leave such an imprint on so many people, strangers that he had never met? Chance Leslie Englebert was born early morning on December 2nd, 1993, after a long 3 days of his mother being in labor because she was induced. He was a beautiful little baby with the biggest blue eyes. He completed their little home in Burdock, South Dakota. Don said they were so blessed. He was always happy and healthy. He loved everything on the ranch and was truly a cowboy and ranch hand early on. He started walking by the time he was 9 months old. In 1996, he became a big brother for the very first time, and he was amazing the first time he met Miles. He was his baby. When he was around 4 years old, he found a white kitten with bright big blue eyes. He loved that kitten and named it Rainbow. Chance had a bright imagination from an early age. Chance told his grandma Linda when he was around 7 years old he was going to go work in the mines, make a lot of friends, and come back to the ranch and build a log house. He needed a lot of friends to help him build that log house. He seen the world with so much beauty and color until that sad day. He liked school and most times was a great student, but he did not like getting in front of people to sing or act in plays. He would suddenly get a stomach ache. In 1999, he became a big brother again and wanted to name his little brother Jake Break, but Clay it was. Then it was Bert. He was so good with Clay. He's so proud of his brothers and the men that they have become. His mom said he was great on the football field, but man, don't make him do basketball or track. When his mom would ask why, he said because people are watching me. But when it came to the bucking shoot, he didn't think twice about anyone watching him. It always made them laugh, Dawn stated. He started riding bulls in fourth grade until he was old enough to ride bucking horses. He wanted to ride bareback and loved the song Bareback Jack. He could rope and ride, but just didn't want the other side of the arena. Chance did so well in the rodeo ring, he had a free ride scholarship for all 4 years of college. He loved and had such pride for his family, the ranch, and his community. He didn't let anyone mess with any of it. He had goals early on to go to college and get hired in the mines in Gillette so he could still be close to the ranch. He wanted to help grow and have his own herd, plus maybe a few bucking horses with his brother. After a few bad shoulder injuries, he hung up the rigging and the family passion of derby cars took over. He just was all around a good, caring kid, loved by many, a hero to many. His brothers looked up to him, and Miles said he was the one that could outwork you all day long, then drink you under the table that night, and be the first one outside the next morning to outwork you again. He is so missed, and nothing is the same now. Many of us are just lost. Chance and his Aunt Katie were very close, and she misses him immensely, especially his smile. He always made any room better by just being there, Katie said, as she was sharing some of her memories with us. Her last memory of him was the April before he disappeared, when she had brought her then new boyfriend home to meet everyone and to help with the branding. At the end of the day, he said, Aunt Katie, it is so weird you brought a boyfriend home. He said it with his twinkle in his eyes and with that smile that made you smile even bigger. I can't imagine the void left in his family and friends' life after his disappearance. They all love him so, so much. His Uncle John has some very kind words to say about Chance. He said, I got to know Chance Englebert when he was 6 months old. My mom babysat Chance while his mom Dawn worked in Edgemont and his dad Everett ran their family ranch 7 miles south of us. He was a good baby, and my mother always said he was easy to take care of. My mom had him for several years. I watched Chance grow and advance through school as his parents and I and his family and mine had known each other for many generations. As he got older, he grew into a good young man with heart, integrity, a sense of right and wrong, someone that would always be there when you needed help. After he graduated from college, he worked for me on my ranch. He was always ready to tackle any job we had to do. He was always anxious to learn new things. He was an exceptional employee, Uncle John stated. I was excited for him when he was offered a job at the coal mines. I was losing a great hired man, but I felt good I could help him on the road to a successful life. I know his family, his friends, and I all miss his presence, his smiling face, and a good, fun-loving attitude. So many of Chance's friends have reached out to help us share their memories of Chance. It was actually quite hard to pick through all of them. A good friend of his that grew up with him said he had quite a few. That's one thing about Chance. We always had a good time, whether we were playing sports in school together or even if we were at his family's property working with the livestock, he recalled. Chance's folks both worked at auctions, and at a certain time, while we were growing up, we were in town at Grandma Linda's house, and his folks showed up with a couple of broken up three-wheelers. Well, I ended up going home with him and spent the night, and we took parts from two or three broken three-wheelers and made one good one. He says he remembered trying to keep up with Chance on the four-wheeler in the pitch dark, flying down the dirt road. The four-wheeler had lights, but the three-wheeler didn't. But we spent about 6 hours straight working on them to get them going. He remembers a lot of working on old pickup trucks, trying to fix them up, riding all over the place on dirt bikes, and building derby cars. Those were the good times. Another friend had a funny story about him riding a pig. Yes, I said a pig. She and Chance started talking when she was in the seventh grade. They were having a Little Britches rodeo that was about 5 miles from her house, and she knew Chance and his family would be there. There was a big snowstorm, and the Englebert family was unable to get home, so she invited them to stay with her and her family. This was the first time the family had ever met. There were actually a bunch of kids staying with them, and it was really wild, she said. What she didn't know at the time is that it would start the most memorable friendship. She and Chance talked daily, sending snaps, but what she loved the most is he would pick up the phone and call just to talk. There was a rodeo down at Edgemont, and so her family stayed at the Engleberts' home. She stated her horses were so terrified of the pigs that she didn't think that he slept at all that night. Chance would ride the pigs, and everyone would laugh so hard at him. Or maybe it was with him. It's moments like these that can bring a smile on your face in the darkest of times. These people are lifelong friends with Chance and knew him even when the world wasn't watching. A different friend messaged us and said they have known Chance their whole life. This friend said we went to high school together, starting in preschool, all the way until they graduated. We've seen each other through the good and bad. He is so much fun and can always get a group of people laughing. He was there for me through the hardest part of my life, which is when my sister passed away. I knew I could always call him when I was having a hard time understanding and accepting that she passed and that he would talk me through it. I did that many times. He'd give me the shirt off his back if I needed it. In fact, he'd do that for anyone, whether he knew them or not. He is a passionate guy. He loves his friends and family deeply. I've watched him grow from a child into a wild teenager into the family man he was when he went missing. My heart aches not knowing what happened to him. My heart is absolutely broken watching his family go through life without him. He is such an important part of so many lives. I miss him every day. All I can do is hope and pray that one day we all get answers. Another lady stated she watched Chance grow up. He was always such a good, happy kid. He was good friends with my kids. We spent most weekends together over the summer at rodeos where we were more like family than friends. One cold winter day, my son drove 35 miles to school. He was in a hurry not to be late. He drove the ranch pickup to school that day as he was getting work done on his truck. In order to open the doors, you had to roll the window down and use the outside door handle as the inside handles were broken. When he got to school, the windows were frozen shut. He had to call Chance to come out to the parking lot to let him out. I'm sure Chance was his first phone call for a lot of things. The woman that used to babysit Chance and his brothers said he was such a sweet boy with a shy smile, and even as a child, he always had one eye on his brothers. He was always well behaved, had a contagious laugh. He would get the giggles and just fall to the floor laughing. Not once did I ever have to correct him for anything. He was always a pleasure to have in my home. I miss that little boy who really didn't change as he grew older. Dylan Porter sent us this. One time we decided we wanted to go fishing, and so we went out to the place called Trout Dam. We parked the pickup, went fishing, and didn't catch nothing. We went back to the pickup, and the front end of the pickup sunk down into the mud. It took 3 different pieces of equipment to pull it out, and then we had to take the front wheels off because they got mud stuck in them and gave it a terrible wobble. It's memories like these you look back on and grin just a little. Why did this happen to such a genuine person that loved life so much? Everyone says he is so kind and caring. How could this happen to someone that gave his best to everyone and everything? One young lady shared a very special memory of Chance and exactly what kind of person he is. She said Chance took me to the prom when he was a freshman, and when he showed up at my parents' home, it had been raining. He laid out towels so that I wouldn't have to walk through the mud. He's just so thoughtful and a great person. Can you imagine how a man like this would treat his wife? I'm sure his wife was put on a pedestal and given anything she ever wanted. Maybe that was the problem. People like Chance gives so unselfishly to everyone around them and don't realize not everyone has the same heart as they do. The biggest question isn't who done this, but why? Who does this to this kind of rare individual? They have not only brought his family and friends to their knees, but there is thousands of people out there that doesn't know this man and knows how wrong it is to dim one of the sky's brightest stars, to take a son, brother, father, and friend away just for the sake of their righteous selves. There's thousands of people that see the truth and refuse to let this go. So much money has been donated to help bring Chance home, but yet we are all still left in limbo. There is a belief that believes before a soul comes to earth to be born as a child, they know and chooses the journey in their soon to be life. Whether it is a long life or a short one, whether it is a easy life or a painful one, they choose it because every life has a meaning. And even though we don't always understand why good people fall victim to evil doings, we know there is a reason for it, and we must trust their destiny and learn from it, because if we don't, their life and legacy will be all in vain. Chance's life was not lived in vain. Every step he took had meaning. Every breath he took was to help benefit someone else. The administrators of the Missing Truth is sending our love and prayers out to Dawn, Everett, Miles, Clay, Banks, Aunt Katie, Uncle John, and his grandparents, and all the many family and friends. Even though we do not personally know Chance, we stand with you in your fight for justice. We usually end our podcast with "May peace be with you," but we are here to say there will be no peace until Dawn and Everett is reunited with their beloved son. That's a promise. This is far from over, and we will do our best to keep his name alive until he comes home and his assaulters are brought to justice. We urge anyone that has any information about Chance's disappearance to contact law enforcement. If you fear the threats, your call can be made confidentially and anonymously to the anonymous tip line. Please, if you know something, don't turn away, because this could have been easily your family member or friend. Someone knows where Chance is and can help bring Chance home. Be that person. Thank you for joining us. For further updates on Chance Englebert's case, subscribe to The Missing Truth to receive notifications, like us on our Facebook page, and join us in our Facebook discussion group. Always remember, some sort of truth remains in a lie, and the story will always be the same if you are telling the truth. Let's bring Chance home. Have a good night.